Hi everyone, it has been a while. Exams have been squeezing out every last bit of sanity I have out of me, like a bloody toothpaste. But thank God, it's all over now. I'm back. This video will be about a number of things I was watching before my exams started and then just after exams ended. I don't want to make separate videos on them because that would require me to watch them multiple times and I would rather not. I already had to watch them twice for this video. I would really prefer to not do that again. The series sets a high bar when it presents these very flawed, very human characters in the first episode. It just doesn't meet my expectations. I dislike Ko. Not because, ooh, he's a bad guy, he's an asshole. Not that. Like, take Klaus from the originals. He is horrible, vile, scum, and yet, I love that character. I loved the deranged, merciless ball of insecurities that he was. I root for him. And I also root for people to take him down. Ko is just very flat. Other than being written as a somewhat eccentric and selfish asshole, he doesn't really have much going for him. And it's not helped by the fact that I find off a not good actor. He's improved since the first time I saw him in Theory of Love, but still, When I watch Off playing a character, he always is somehow doing too much and not enough. So back to Ko. Ko and Jira's relationship, lullaby. Not dislike. I was disinterested in whatever was going on between the two. Ko's betrayal of Jira at the end isn't surprising. I mean, pubic hair found in genitals. Shocking. The only Ko-related aspect that held my interest was his friendship with Pim. I would have preferred their friendship be a focal point in the series, because there's resentment between the two, but also kinship and familiarity. Mostly familiarity than kinship at this point in their relationship. It must have started out as friendly competition between the two, but at some point the friend part was set up in flames, probably by Ko. Jira and Pim's relationship is the one thing I feel they really explored a lot, where morality isn't quite so clear-cut, where you question if these characters are good people. Jira is this outspoken artist who will not tolerate being toyed with, and who has a very strong stance on what art is and that AI should have zero involvement in the creation of art. But he strings Pim along instead of just admitting he feels nothing for him, all while falling for the one guy that is a perfectly distilled human embodiment of all the things he claims to hate. With Pim, we see him start out as this nice guy, soft-spoken, flirty, but then you also see him shed this nice guy facade. You see him rage, be selfish, heartbroken, obsessed. It is scrum-delicious. Gun giving a good performance as Jira isn't surprising, but oh my god, he breathed so much life into the character of Pim. The Rage Room scene from episode 7 is a performance. The audition scene is so fragile and tense and heartbreaking. So to go from that, all of this color and emotion and range, to boring, evil Ko felt like punishment.
Am I in hell?
Ko is a grade A asshole. We know that. He's a bad choice for a romantic partner. We could tell from the very first episode, and the series does nothing to change that. He's still an asshole at the end. What a revelation. With season 3 of Bridgerton, every episode buried the high expectations I had coming from season 2 and Queen Charlotte deeper into the ground. With season 4, I kept my expectations low and somehow they still disappointed. The dialogues between this season's main couple are dreadfully dull. One thing Bridgerton has always had, prior to season 3 anyway, is the quick, witty, playful, verbal sparring between their couples. You see it in season 1, you see it in season 2, and in Charlotte. Sometimes antagonistic, sometimes playful and flirty, sometimes just outright funny. Season 4's dialogues are so boring. And so is the couple. They become enamored after this one night. Why? This self-proclaimed hardcore bachelor falls this madly in love with her because she's not like the other girls and because she seemed intrigued by a chandelier. I think I'm going to throw up. From Benedict's perspective, in the hustle and bustle of the party, Sophie is just joyfully taking it all in. There's an initial intrigue when he sees her. Build on that fucking intrigue. Don't just leave it at that and be like, oh well, now they're obsessed with each other. Season 2's story shoves Kate and Anthony together many times, so we get to see them interact and clash and in their weird way get to know each other. Is it my imagination, or do Sophie and Benedict not spend that much time in each other's presence this season? They just long and pine for... Honestly, I don't know. And just why are we following 1,000 storylines this season again? I really like the plot of Me and Thee. We have a rich guy who is used to getting his way and whose only real human interaction comes from watching Lacons and then interacting with a friend who has settled so much in the role of being his employee that the friendship is somewhat lopsided. Then we have a down-to-earth, talented photographer who is not afraid to call him out on his bullshit. That is great. The way the drama is shot is funny. The dialogues are funny. The character of T is written to be extra and funny. There's just one big problem. The main actors can't act for shit. The acting went on a paid vacation with this pair. My God, it was boring. It may seem on the surface that comedic roles only require exuberance and exaggeration. But just as with any other role, comedy too requires nuance to portray. There's a lot of detailing in how loud, how much energy, what tone, the timing, silence. There's a lot. And that is what's missing in the acting of our main leads. The nuance. Their acting is broad strokes. Very, very broad strokes. The detailing is lost. I was not a fan because the series could have been so much funnier than it already was if it had been portrayed well. Anyways, here are some notes I took while watching episode 1. That was back when I still had hope for this, and I don't want these notes going to waste, so I'll just recite them. T is like, take my money, and Peach responds, I'm offended you would suggest that. Offended? Fellow citizens of Earth, let it be known that I want to be offended in this manner. Offend me with money, morning, day, and night. If this is offense, if giving money is offense, offend me. What immediately sticks out is the suitability of the camera work to the comedic tone the show is going for. The dialogue is funny, but what makes it even funnier is what the camera chooses to focus on and the timing of it. The acting of our two leads is not very good. They just say their dialogues. They don't sell their characters. They don't sell their love. They don't sell the story. The dialogue is doing all the heavy lifting. By the time we got to episode 2, I really didn't feel like taking notes anymore. I just found myself longing more and more for the William S. Perth Center storylines, just so I could see some competent acting. I hope their next project is an improvement because this was not good. I basically hate watched this series until the fourth episode to test the limits of my sanity and endurance. The characters. My god, the characters.
So basically, Jimmy likes Fa and wants to get romantical with him, and then he tells his friend Tay about his feelings for Fa. Unbeknownst to him, Tay also likes Fa, and by some voodoo magic of the universe, Tay and Fa end up getting it on in the room while Jimmy's sleeping, and they think he doesn't know, but he actually knows. So he decides to get his revenge on Tay by seducing and breaking the hearts of Tay's brother, To. Writer name, are you okay?
Let's start with To. There is this wide-eyed, infantile, naive look he has that doesn't gel well with me. I get it, he's inexperienced, but does he have to look so childlike all the time? Tay is an idiot, a big, stupid fool. If I knew that someone was screwing my brother, literally and figuratively, just so they could get back at me, all these oil companies have nothing on how I'll be spilling everything. What do you mean you want to protect him? From what? Not being screwed? He already is. Jimmy, on the other hand, just throw him in an anthill. Line his eyes with pepper-infused mascara. The flimsy excuse of childhood trauma doesn't even rear its stupid head in the case of Jimmy. So why should I root for this idiot?
I couldn't care less.
I do not get the so-called friendship of Jimmy and Tay. They seem entirely too devoted to the task of betraying each other. No external pressure or extenuating circumstances needed. They just betray each other and cross each other's lines for the love of the game. This drama is just a circus, and not one I wanted to participate anymore in, so I left it.